Almost nobody could have reproduced Phillip Phillips's 2012 American Idol guitar solo. Expected his life to undergo such a dramatic change so quickly. At the span of a few months, the shy Georgia native went from working at his family's pawn shop to being named the champion of the nation's most popular talent competition. His coronation song, Home, became an anthem the moment he descended from the clouds, playing during commercial breaks, sporting events, and commencement ceremonies. It was a huge hit and propelled him to stardom, being among the most downloaded songs in American Idol history. What happens, though, when the glare of fame gradually dims and the hysteria of instant fame starts to die down? Not only did Phillip Phillips find this transition to be difficult, but it also caused him to worry that his career would end prematurely. The significance of instant success. Phillip's identity has never been complete without music. Before his stint on Idol, where he gave his all to blues, folk, and acoustic rock, he played small venues in and around Albany, Georgia. However, after winning the competition, one had to cope with the pressure of living up to everyone's expectations. Due in large part to the popularity of the single Home, his debut album, The World from the Side of the Moon, went platinum. From a precedent standpoint, it was a dangerous but perfect way to start things off. "I wanted you to know that I was grateful," Phillip said in a follow-up interview. "Having your debut song become that popular, though, could be nerve-wracking. What if this is the best it gets? What if I can't beat this amount?" Is the voice in your mind that keeps popping up. After reaching their first milestone, there was no reason to doubt themselves. It has been challenging for some former Idol contestants to keep up their pace. Sometimes, the business world is brutal. It seems like you're the talk of the town one second and then you're old news the next. He has been unable to speak out due to the continuing legal dispute. After the success of his debut, Phillips was preparing to go on to the next project when he got himself into a jam that threatened not just his career but also his love of music. In 2015, he took American Idol's linked management company, 19 Entertainment, to court. He claimed he had little say over his professional future due to the restrictive nature of the contracts. For someone at the beginning of their journey, it was a bold choice. There was a cost, though. A legal dispute prevented him from releasing new music for over 2 years. After years of hearing him everywhere, his fans started to wonder where he had gone. From behind the scenes, Phillips was terrified. "Some mornings when I would first open my eyes, I would think, maybe today is the day. Maybe I'm done with this," he admitted openly. "For as long as I can remember, music has been my go-to therapy and escape mechanism. But I felt like it was being suddenly taken from me. My life was a roller coaster of anxiety because I was worried my career may fizzle out before it even got off the ground." Rediscovering and reclaiming his voice. It wasn't the business world that saved Phillips at this turbulent time. Making anything was all that was required. He found solace in writing, and the songs he composed shared his range of emotions: hope, longing, and frustration. He also tied the knot with his longtime sweetheart Hannah Blackwell in 2015, bringing his private life into the spotlight. Love and home were constants in his life, and they gave him the strength he needed to keep going. "It was necessary for me to recall the initial motivations for continuing this in order to keep going. Neither popularity nor chart success were his goals," he declared. "Something told me I needed to release whatever it was that was bottled up inside of me. Even if no one could hear the music, it would still be meaningful." Following the conclusion of his protracted court battle, Phillips released the album entitled Collateral in the year 2018. In contrast to his debut album, which was a chart-topping triumph, this one is more candid and filled with a strong sense of personal identity. Fans and reviewers alike praised it as evidence that the artist had grown up and emerged stronger from having weathered a number of storms, beginning anew and constructing a brand new start. The path that Phillip has chosen for his professional life is purposefully laid out so as to avoid matching the tornado of 2012, which is exactly what it looks like today. He has established a way that allows him to merge his musical profession with his life as a fan-driven style of music. He continues to put out music on his own terms, free from the constraints that in the past held him back. When he casts his gaze backward, he does not shy away from recognizing the extent to which he perceived the potential for losing everything as imminent. "I was really anxious that I would just disappear into thin air, that people would forget all about me," he confessed. However, I eventually came to the conclusion that even if the crowds are not as great and even if the spotlight is not as powerful, there are still individuals out there that have a connection to what I do. That is the aspect that makes it valuable in the long run. The more thorough set of instructions. Rather than just telling the narrative of one singer, the biography of Phillip Phillips serves as a reminder of the capricious nature of fame and the tenacity that is needed to endure in an industry that does not show mercy to its participants. The vast majority of musicians who reach the pinnacle of success soon discover that the higher they climb, the worse the fall that follows. The temptation to appease contracts in order to stay relevant and to reproduce success can be a challenge for even the most experienced workers to overcome. On the other side, Phillips found a way to move forward by reconceptualizing what success meant to him. It is not a question of looking for another place for him to live. It is associated with creating music that communicates the current stage in his life, disseminating it to those who need it, and continuing to treasure the joy of creation. I admitted that I believed that success was primarily decided by numbers. At this stage, I determine if I have found success based on whether or not someone approaches me after a performance to say that one of my songs helped them get through a challenging time in their life. That is the point in time when I come to the realization that I am carrying out the activities for which I was destined. A modest win that one should not get too excited about. Although Phillip Phillips may no longer be the center of attention in the news, he possesses a treasure that is far more valuable: longevity. He continues to create, perform, and interact with others, even 10 years after the premiere of American Idol. His journey has been a difficult one, colored by uncertainty, legal problems, and the constant fear of being forgotten. He became an artist who values honesty over flashiness and connections over charts as a result of those very adversities. Nevertheless, he began to chuckle hysterically as soon as his memories returned to the hours he had spent lying awake, unable to sleep. He made the following statement: "I was absolutely scared that everything was reaching its conclusion. In reality, it had only just begun to get underway at that point in time. I had to experience the hardship in order to uncover who I truly was as an individual and as a creative artist. It is likely that the truest form of success is not found in platinum albums or in showers of confetti, but rather in the quiet assurance of a person who was on the edge of losing their career, but who learned that it might be salvaged by perseverance."